It's spring. This location feels like summer. We were going to talk about what we've been up to, dude. We've been busy. It's April. Let me check my calendar. It's April 2019. We haven't done one of these in like a month. We haven't done a Frank and Bryan one in like 2 months, but I just want to hang out. Oh, it's a cute dog. Very cute dog. I just want to hang out with everyone, talk about what we've been up to, what media I've been consuming. First off, this is probably the prettiest park in San Diego. Let's get a plaque up here. Voted prettiest park in San Diego by Frank and Bryan. When Audrey was in town like a month ago for my birthday in March, I took her here and we just walked. It was like a Tuesday. We ditched school, dude, and we just walked around and no one was here and it was pretty. And it's cool to see it full of life, full of people. It's awesome. You said you've never been to this location, right?
Yeah, I've actually never been to this park, or if I have no idea. This is like one of the nicest parks because it's got this awesome backdrop of the Coronado Bridge. Yeah, and that's like, it's a huge historical part of San Diego. This is like where all the Navy in San Diego used to be. So like, yeah, it's really cool to have this big open area in the downtown. But also, it's really nice to have really good weather. So thanks to the big dogs for joining us.
It's spring. And yeah, we talked about I probably mentioned this offhand like on a stream, but like, dude, once it was actually spring, we're lucky in California to hit much earlier, but once the sun was back up, once the time changed, my mood got so much better. Now it's daylight. It's not like evening at 5 p.m. So my mood's been better, which is why I'm out here talking. But yeah, I've been really busy with work and a bunch of other stuff. But I feel good. I feel creative again. One thing, even though we've been so busy, one thing that we've been maintaining, actually been picking up steam, we started doing Big Dog streams every Tuesday evening since like October. So we've been going for like 7 months now. We've now launching Double the Big Dogs. We've been streaming Tuesdays and Fridays. So we've been streaming twice as much, getting through my backlog, playing weird extreme sports games. We streamed Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 on PS1. And those are on the YouTube. Those are really weird retro ports of Tony Hawk games. Real fast, we got the different birds of San Diego. What is this one?
It's a western rabbit, apparently.
Oh, that's my favorite. That's my favorite, dude.
That's my favorite bird.
Is that a bird? Whoa.
That's my favorite bird.
Dude, all right, where's the Birdman? Where's Tony Hawk? Is he on here?
No, that's a falcon, not a hawk.
Darn. Okay. But yeah, we've been streaming twice as much. So again, thank you everyone who watches the streams. We have over 100 Twitch subscribers, which I feel like that's like a gold medal for Twitch. I don't think any Twitch stream has as many subscribers. My YouTube, we have more, but Twitch is the future. That's what Bryan's been saying. Twitch is where it's at.
Yeah, I've definitely been feeling like Twitch is where everybody's going nowadays. And it's pretty obvious when we're on stream and we're watching everybody come in and hang out with us in the chat that's where things are happening. I've been having so much fun doing the big dogs and the dog walks. And it's been because of the community that we have on Twitch, hanging out every Tuesday, now every Friday. And it's been really cool. Like, it's a platform where we can hang out directly with all of the people that we love, and then we can also show them some great new things that we're seeing. So I love Twitch. I think it's going to be where everybody goes next. That's pretty obvious. I mean, Amazon bought it, so
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Bless Amazon. Okay.
Bless.
Because we've been streaming every Friday, I've been using Fridays as kind of usually Tuesday nights is where we play like weird games or like we're gonna marathon or speed run. Friday is like my more casual backlog days. We beat Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice on stream. About 80% of my gameplay is logged now. That's on Twitch, it's on YouTube. The final stream we did on Friday was 10 hours. The first fight against Owl 2 took like 2 hours. The Hatred Demon took an hour and a half. The last boss of Sekiro took 2.5 hours. It was excruciating, but I felt like Rocky at the end, dude. I got pummeled, but we did it, dude. We beat Creed. I did it for you, Adrian. But yeah, I beat Sekiro. Incredible game. I definitely feel like I need a break from hard games, so I'm playing Dragon Quest XI now. Like, I just want a nice game where I can relax, and because it was really intense. As my co-pilot, what'd you think of Sekiro?
Man, Sekiro was a game that was so much fun to watch you play, and it's a game that I will probably end up playing down the line, but I'm so Sekiro'd out right now just because we've been playing it for the last like 2 weeks, and we did a 10-hour stream of Sekiro. So if you guys haven't seen that, it's on Frank's YouTube. It's somewhere probably linked in this in the recommended. 10 hours, but we actually beat the game. We had all the big dogs with us. I loved watching Sekiro. It's such a beautiful game. It's something that, like, it's what I wanted out of all the other Bloodborne or Dark Soul games. More color, more vibrance. I mean, these systems are so beautiful.
Samurai setting rules.
Yeah, and everything was so dark in all of those other games that this is a good entryway for me. So I'm looking forward to picking it up a little bit later.
But anyways, in terms of, I feel like the core of Dog Walks, why I started it, is I just wanted a place where I could come, share the media I love, because I feel like my whole life, I lose myself to media. It's a great escape, but it's also how I learn, it's how I experience others, I love it. So, because we've been so busy, I mean, the last 2 Dog Walks we did a Peach Kelly Pop interview, which is, I'll link below. We went to Nuclear Comics, talked with Kenny. There's bikers, Bryan, come this way. All right, get this big bike trail, dude, it's gonna be sick. But yeah, the most impactful piece of media consumed over the past month, strangely enough, was NOFX's autobiography. It's called NOFX, The Hepatitis Bathtub and Other Stories. I didn't read it when it came out because it came out in 2016 and I didn't care about NOFX anymore. But in this past year, I've gone through this like cycle of self-discovery. Bryan, there's a bike. You want to come here? Yeah, we'll stay on this path. And so like it's why like I got way back into Blink-182, going through all the Tony Hawk games. It's just like, oh yeah, what are the things that used to make me really, really happy? And so going into Blink-182, there was this Tom DeLonge quote, and he's like, yeah, I remember the aha moment for me where I realized I can do this. I saw NOFX live, and they weren't even really good at their instruments. They were stopping the show, making fun of each other, and I was like, oh, this is so punk, dude. I didn't realize I could do that. So I started Blink-182. And in the NOFX book, they talk shit on Blink-182, how Blink-182 ripped NOFX off. I love both bands, but the core idea behind NOFX and what I try to bring to the videos I make and Twitch streaming is production value does not matter. It doesn't matter. Punk is about expressing the idea, and it's why I love DIY bands. I mean, even Peach Kelly Pop, it's like, I don't care. I don't need all this money into production. Just what's the idea? Communicate it. But the NOFX book talks about how, like, you know, there were 13-year-old punker kids in Hollywood going to shows because their home lives were kind of crazy. They needed an escape. They wanted to find community. And they started this band. For 8 years, nobody cared about NOFX because they were shitty. But they were playing it because they had fun. And I feel like that's even what we're doing with Twitch. But I feel like we're already having more success. I look at Twitch streams like a DIY show. That's why I started making Twitch flyers when we go live. Like, Tuesday night we're playing Sekiro, all ages, like, no cops, don't tell your parents, no rules. I really want this Twitch streaming, my YouTube videos, Instagram, Twitter, anything that we do to just be this inclusive community where people, weirdos, kids, geeks, whatever, elitist film nerds can just come, hang out, spread positivity, share ideas. And, like, with NoFX specifically, they share, like, some high ideas, and a lot of it's, like, toilet humor and, like, sex humor, and just, like, but it's the same thing with Blink-182, whatever. It's just, Fat Mike talks about, like, he's not afraid to just, like, just be himself and share the shit he likes, and, like, that's all throughout NoFX. And it's, like, I feel like that's something I've always had, but it's nice to reignite that. But yeah, the NoFX book is great. It also goes into, like, heroin addiction, the punk scene, the 1994 Green Day explosion, just all these really interesting facets of the business. And then I'm going to start walking backwards so I'm not backlit. But yeah, it was an incredible book. And then outside of that, I watched Steve Martin's Masterclass. I have a subscription to Masterclass, which is really great. It's because I love learning. Ooh, let's even get the seaside back. With the big dual-ass boat, sponsored by Super Monkey Ball. Did you ever see that? In Super Monkey Ball, all the bananas were actual Dole bananas.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, we should stream Super Monkey Ball. But, yo, I want Dole to sponsor me. How has a big-ass fucking Dole boat? That's cool. Anyways, Steve Martin's Masterclass was really good. He also talks about performing, and I will watch, like, a lesson of Steve Martin. I'll go to Bryan and be like, dude, Steve Martin says this. We should do this for our streams. One of the biggest lessons I learned from Steve Martin's Masterclass thing is everything is a part of the show. So even like when my guitar string broke on stream, we made that a part of the show by just bringing in more guitars, heightening it. Like, I don't know, it's like the show never stops, and especially with doing a Twitch stream when you're on air for 8 hours, it's like, don't think, go, go, go. But yeah, I really, really, really like that. And then we didn't do dog walks for this because we were so busy, but this is a while back. But I also read another book called The Art of Asking, which is again about letting go of this kind of guilt of like wanting to be an artist, wanting to ask for help. I mean, if you watch our Twitch streams, we're unabashedly like, hey, if you got a Twitch Prime, help us out, whatever you want to do. But it really does help us because of the support we have on the internet. It's like, oh, there's an audience for this. People want to hang out with us in a park in San Diego. I mean, it's pretty, so I get it. But like, I don't know, I feel like people get what we're doing. People connect to it. People message us. People hang out in the Twitch chat. People tweet at us. So I feel like people understand what we're doing. But yeah, there was just this like trinity, the NOFX book, Steve Martin's Masterclass, The Art of Asking, which has like further ignited the Twitch streaming stuff. And I think you've seen it, but like, yeah, Brian, what's your end of all this? Because I'm just coming to you with these little anecdotes. Dude, Fat Mike says this. It's punk rock.
Well, it's great because like, for me, it's always been something about like making sure that the people that I'm working with, that I'm working with are as involved in what I want to do or as interested in what I want to do as I am. And like, for me, with Frank coming out every honestly like 5 minutes with some new idea is like, okay, cool. I get a new idea as well. I can build off of Frank's excitement. He's hard in on everything that he does. Sick. And so like, yeah, do a skid. You know, I'm always all in on his ideas because he's always all in on bringing them up. And if it's not something that works, I'm never like, oh, that doesn't work. I say, okay, I let him explain it. He comes out, and then through it, we workshop stuff, and we make all of this fun content.
Yeah, I mean, Gamer Cooking is a new show that we started because of our Twitch stream. That was, Audrey was co-streaming with me, and Audrey was like, oh, Frank eats a Costco microwave food. I mean, it's good, but it's, you know, gamer need to eat healthy. That is the most offensive French accent. I love Audrey. You can see it in the Twitch stream, but like, so people in the chat exploded like, wait, Frank doesn't know how to cook? No, I grew up like my mom like babied me. She never wanted me to do any work. That's why I was so plump and cute as a kid. But again, my mom, it was love. Yeah, so someone in the chat was like, wait, Frank doesn't have a frying pan? No, I never learned how to cook.
Hilt,
yeah, so Kevin Hilt donated $10. We made this gamer cooking video. People loved it. We did Grilled Cheese Auto, the sequel. I have so many different video ideas, different format ideas. So it's just a matter of like what I have time for. But again, if people are subscribing to us on Twitch, people want to see us make more videos. So whenever there's this trinity of like free time, excitement, and like when the creative juices are flowing, then we'll be making stuff. But yeah, so it's been fun making stuff. So switching back to media, like, let's do quick hits on stuff. I don't even know when we started, but it's all good. People are hanging out with us. Quick hits now on media. I love. So many movies came out in like past few months. This is already a great year for movies. CLIMAX. We didn't get to talk about CLIMAX. We'll do a quick hit on this because I've tweeted and talked about it on stream so much. CLIMAX is the new film by Gaspar Noé, who did Irreversible. He did Enter the Void. It is a erotic French thriller. It takes place in a 90s dance club. Everyone's having a party, and then they start tripping on LSD, and it turns into a violent acid nightmare. There's blood, there's sex, there's chaos, there's carnage. It also has one of the best film soundtracks. It's co-composed by like one of the Daft Punk dudes, so Thomas Spillinger or whatever. So the soundtrack just rules. It's 90s French house, synth, and the cinematography is mind-blowing. It's shot by Benoit Debie, who did Spring Breakers and Enter the Void. It is such an explosion of like, I don't know, I love it. I love it. What'd you think of CLIMAX?
CLIMAX to me was probably one of the best movies I've seen so far, especially because of the sound design and because of the color. Like, that movie takes an experience and makes you go through it because of sound, color, and set design, and you really feel it. There was one part in the movie where I had to kind of like pause it because I felt like my heart was beating so fast and like out of rhythm. Frank looked it up later. He comes in and he's like, yeah, hey, so that movie intentionally messes with your heart rate.
They score it so it starts and the beats per minute increases as the film goes on.
What an incredible little nuance to adding into a movie.
But yeah, it rules. It's amazing. Again, it's A24 distributed it. We still need to do a separate dog walks about how to discover films because I always have an infinite amount of stuff to watch, and that's why I just like sharing it. Like, I do all the hard work. I'm out there I'm out there in the Dakota mountains mining for gold, finding these movies. Y'all check a look at this. Check this out. So check out Climax. So far, I think my movie of the year, and again, more shit will come out, Dragged Across Concrete by Craig S. Zoller. So one of my favorite films of 2017 was Brawl in Cell Block 99. Craig S. Zoller made Bone Tomahawk, which is a cannibal western horror film that's pretty popular by now, but his other two films aren't popular yet. He's gonna get there, but he makes like 70s visceral grindhouse films. I've talked to several people. He kind of feels like a new Tarantino. He's just making really, really, but like early Tarantino. Not flashy. It's just good, visceral 70s filmmaking. But Dragged Across Concrete is a brutal crime film. It's like nihilistic. It feels like a scaled down Heat. It's about two racist cops who have to make ends meet, so they turn to the criminal side, and it gets nasty. It's amazing. I think you can check it out on Amazon for like $6. Unbelievable. Like, I just want people to watch it. Go watch it. What'd you think, though?
Oh, that movie, again, surprised me so much. I didn't expect that movie to really be as fun as it was with the title Dragged Across Concrete. I thought it was going to be...
It's kind of exploitation. It's fun. It's visceral. It's like Death Wish, yeah.
Yeah, it really reminds me of what I liked about like Pulp Fiction and that kind of Tarantino violence
Reservoir Dogs,
in Reservoir Dogs or Inglourious Bastards, to some extent Django, but more amped up and more like visceral, and you feel it.
It surprises you. It punches you.
Yeah, and I loved the way that the script was written. I loved the dialogue. The cops were very believable. I think Mel Gibson's character is one that's kind of going to be overlooked because it's Mel Gibson, but his like equating everything to percentages is such a cool
character.
It's such a cool detail because he's not
rough old cop.
He's not doing it because he wants to. He's doing it because out of his experience, 30% of the time, this is what happens. So yeah, it's a movie that really impressed me because I loved Bone Tomahawk. I haven't seen his other film, but I loved Bone Tomahawk. I watched it twice after seeing it like the first time, and it blew me away. So check out Bone Tomahawk. Check out Dragged Across Concrete.
And Brawl Cell Block 99. His first two movies are on Amazon Prime, so check it out. And then yeah, Dragged Across Concrete get VOD. That's my favorite movie of the year. Let's talk a little bit real fast. The year of 2019, Harmony Korine did put a new film out. The Beach Bum. I tweeted about it. I posted on my letterbox. It made me cry. Not like bawling, but I had tears of joy. In The Beach Bum, near the end of the film, Harmony Korine spells out his mission statement on life. The Beach Bum is Harmony Korine. I think my letterbox review was like, The Beach Bum is like the natural follow-up to Spring Breakers. Whereas like Spring Breakers has this gnarly Miami vibe. It's still like excessive, like visually, sonically, but it takes like kind of a gut punch, nasty crime turn. The Beach Bum is just nonstop hilarity and goofy fun. It's still mischievous, which is teenage skate brat Harmony Korine, but it's silly. It's so fun. Yeah, I hope it's still in theaters. If not, it'll be out to check out somewhere soon. But yeah, The Beach Bum ruled. I loved it. It's so deranged and funny. Yeah, I mean it's Matthew McConaughey as like a Florida stoner, an artist, a poet, just going around causing chaos, getting inspiration for his next poems. It felt like watching like a 90s comedy, like something like Dumb and Dumber. It's just so deranged and excessive. The Beach Bum rules. So people have been asking me about that. But yeah, I really loved it. Other quick hits. Bryan and I talk about this. So Game of Thrones is back, which is cool. Like, that's a good show. 99% of the internet is talking about that, so we don't need to. But if you're someone who waits until Game of Thrones to subscribe to HBO, oh my gosh, you hit the gold mine. Ryan and I always talk about how HBO Now, it's my favorite streaming service. Barry is back, which is Bill Hader's like crime comedy about a hitman who wants to be an actor. For someone who's like worked in LA, I feel like if you just know about the industry, it's so hysterical. Barry season 1 was amazing. Hiro Murai directs it, who directs Atlanta, who directed the new Guava Island. But yeah, Barry's amazing. That's back. We're excited. What do you think of Barry, Bryan?
Barry is awesome. I should always say, anything Bill Hader does, I always think is great because he's such a great actor, such a great performer, and he's an awesome writer. On top of all of that, Stephen Root is in that show. And he's my boy since back in News Radio days when he was Jimmy James.
And he's Office Space.
And Office Space. Stephen Root has been in everything you love. You just didn't know it. He's been
Bill from fucking King of the
he's Bill from King of the Hill. He's in everything, and he's one of the best actors. He's in Dodgeball. He's in everything, and he makes this show so great. He plays an awesome ex-hitman, like organizer, and he's all strung out. He looks perfect.
Yeah, he's a shitty mob boss.
Yeah, he's a awesome actor, and he helps augment the show. Plus, the cast on that show is great. Henry Winkler.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I mean, check out Barry. It's funny and it's fun, and it actually kind of also breaks into mental health issues and problems that we all deal with.
Yeah, PTSD, anxiety, success.
Yeah, you watch all of these people go through LA and like have to deal with this like commercialism and being always on and trying to, make that status symbol so people buy into your brand. So it's very relatable for our generation, and I definitely recommend checking it out.
And then quick hit, great date movie. When Audrey was in town, we watched Leaving Neverland, which is the Michael Jackson documentary. And I watched it with kind of the same sensationalist eye as I watched like the O.J. Simpson documentary, where it's Michael Jackson was something that was huge swirling around when I was a kid, but I had no context of like Michael Jackson before the tabloids. You know what I mean? Like to me, I just grew up with, oh yeah, Michael Jackson's this weirdo. Okay, to me, I grew up, oh yeah, O.J. Simpson's this, alleged, or no, acquitted, murderer, etc. But like, so I like watching documentaries for context. The Michael Jackson documentary is like, I mean, it's a difficult subject to talk about, but I thought it was incredible. It's gnarly, but it's a really important film. I think it's amazing. Michael Jackson's a very like, pun not intended, touchy subject, where it's like I feel like people already have their minds made up, whatever. And, but like yeah, I feel like you already know if this film's for you, but check it out. It's gut wrenching. If you like true crime stuff, this is like, yeah, it's a gnarly film. But check it out. It's on HBO. But I said one of my 2019 New Year's resolutions was to watch Deadwood, and in terms of getting things done, I started watching Deadwood. I'm on season 2 now. I'll let Bryan talk about this in depth, but for me, it feels like watching like a whole TV show of There Will Be Blood, because it's just like the same level of like almost Shakespearean dialogue where everyone talks like this, and welcome to Deadwood, blah blah blah. People are talking. It's we'll do like another dog walks once I finish the show, but the movie's coming out May 31st. Everyone has, like a month and a half to watch all 36 episodes. It's great. But Bryan, the big dog, is the one who said, yo, Deadwood's one of the all-time best shows. I'm like, all right, I got to watch it. So, Bryan, sell people on Deadwood. What is it? What's it about? Why should people care?
All right, Deadwood is awesome. It's one of my favorite shows that was ever made, because back in the day, when I was actually getting into it, that's the same time I was getting into Lost. So it helped me be able to look at that show with a little bit more analysis rather than just taking in what I'm watching and getting upset or annoyed, but rather when I felt a feeling, elaborating on it or examining it and then finding out more of the show. So what Deadwood does is it makes a historical accurate representation of the city of Deadwood back in, the early colonial period of he's Sekiro right now, in the early colonial period of U.S. history. And what I loved about the show, the dialogue, was always what kept me coming back. That was the biggest thing. But then as I got older and watched more of it, what I really appreciated about it was its cinematography, its lighting, its just ruthlessness, and it makes such a great image and such a great world for you to actually be a part of. The sets that they built for this show were built entirely for that show and stood there for a while. I think they might have used some of them for the Westworld set, but they actually built the city of Deadwood for people to walk through and go through, so you get that feeling, that closeness, and that intimacy of the town. Get the Blu-ray. If you're really into historical and historically accurate stuff, then check out the Blu-ray, because there's so many bonus features that you're going to love and really have a good part of. Frank, while I was talking about this, did you notice there's a skate park behind us, dude?
Whoa!
There's it's a vert skate park, bro. Whoa.
I read a lot, especially when I'm kind of in a down mood, but Brady Snellis had Dennis Cooper on his podcast. I'd never heard of Dennis Cooper. Apparently, he's one of the greatest gay writers of all time. If you like transgressive fiction, he has a book called The Sluts. That is the most shocking book I've read since American Psycho. It takes place on a gay escort website. It was written in the early 2000s, so it's like around 2001 era internet. It's exclusively told through forum posts, chat logs, user reviews, chronicling the story of this like legendary escort, this like barely legal teen who apparently has the greatest hole the world has ever seen, and everyone in the world wants to get a taste. And it's like, it deals with like mental health, murder, snuff. It is just insane. Kenny mentioned we were talking about Preacher at the comic book episode. Like, if people knew what was in comics, they'd flip out. The Sluts is the most graphic book I've ever read. I was reading it. I was hooked on it. I got to a chapter. I put it down. It made me feel like crying. I hit this like soul crushing chapter. It was like, oh my god. So check out The Sluts. I'll put a link below. It blew me away. I read it in like 3 days. The Sluts, amazing. Another quick hit. Again, long episode, but it's been a while. Last night I watched The Cook, The Thief, His Wife, Her Lover. It felt like discovering A Clockwork Orange at the age of 13, where it was like, I can't believe it took me this long to watch this movie. It is so amazing. It is almost like Shakespearean crime romance drama taking place like in a really nice French restaurant in London, owned by a gangster, a really big loudmouth gangster, kind of like Al Swearingen from Deadwood, or even like Tony Soprano, his like abused wife, who's silent throughout the whole film, and she starts an affair with this quiet like author, this quiet writer, in the corner of the restaurant, and her quiet rebellion against this awful gangster, her husband, is to sneak off and make love with this like this like romantic heartthrob, kind of like Drive. It blew me away. I told Bryan, I tweeted about this, it felt like the precursor to Park Chan-wook's Vengeance films. These films, The Cook, The Wife, The Thief, and Her Lover, has so much filth. Like, it's just eating, it's sex, it's violence, it's decaying flesh. There's so much, there's scat, there's piss. It is a kind of like The Sluts, or all transgressive media I'm obsessed with, American Psycho, etc. It's so disgusting, but it's given such care and loving detail. Like, the whole film is shot like, it's almost like, I mean, like, this precedes it, but it's like watching Wes Anderson's detail of set design. It's like that. It's like every single shot is perfect. Every set is a single color, just like Refn stuff. It really blew me away, and I can see how influential this must have been on Refn, Park Chan-wook, all the art house Vengeance films I love. It felt like watching a new Kubrick film. It is really that. I found it because it was on my like Letterboxd watch list a lot. I think like the Coen brothers have referenced it. Probably I think Nicholas Refn has referenced it. It was just one of those films that like it was a key early Miramax film like that led to the boom of indie cinema in the 90s. But I on Patreon I support Mike D'Angelo, who's one of the internet's best film critics. Like, he was around on the AV Club. He was like a paid online internet critic since the 90s. So he's just like one of my favorite film critics now that Ebert's passed. And he, like, every single time he posts a review, it just gets mailed to my inbox through Patreon. And this was posted, and it had like an 80 out of 100, which is exceptionally high for Mike D'Angelo. And I was like, oh shit. And his first sentence was like, I normally don't write about color in film, but this blew me away. So again, he is someone who is so jaded, like he hates everything, but he has a good taste. But for him to signify, whoa, this film has the best use of color I've ever seen. We'll move away from this truck. This film has the best use of color I've ever seen. It was like, all right, I need to watch this. Because if you've seen any videos I've done, even my Twitch stream, I'm obsessed with Refn. I'm obsessed with Neon. It's also a crime film, so I think Ed Brubaker, on all of his comics, right now he has an ongoing comic called Criminal. And which is the same thing. It's about romance, crime, and I was just in the mood for that kind of thing. Like The Sopranos, Deadwood was very similar, but I wanted something a little bit different. But yeah, I really like crime and vengeance fiction. But yeah, The Cook, The Wife, The Thief, Her Lover, etc. is amazing. It blew me away. I think I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd, which is so damn high for me. So, yeah, I mean, so right now, Dread Across Concrete is my favorite new film of 2019. Cook, The Wife, The Thief, Her Lover is my favorite old film of 2019 that I've seen so far in April. Last quick hits. Bryan, I mean, you beat DMC. Anything else or anything else you want to plug?
Yeah, I really enjoyed DMC. I thought that they being Capcom, have done a great job resetting or continuing what made these great franchises so much fun. DMC keeps making me want to go back and play it, even though I've already beat the story. Yeah. Which, yeah.
Dragged across concrete. You'll end it in a parking lot.
Yeah, hell yeah, dragged across asphalt. But yeah, DMC made me want to, like, even now I want to go back and play more DMC, but I'm like, dude, there's a laundry list of games that I need to get to. I started Infamous yesterday, and it took me a little bit to get back into that world, but I've been far removed since First Light. Check out Infamous Second Son.
Yes, the game rules.
That game, it looks like so much fun. I chose the evil path at first, and then they guilt tripped me when I saw that I had hurt all the people. All the people from my tribe got like concrete slabs in their knees, and then I redid it as good. I thought they wouldn't have it, and it happened again. I felt like I should have just been bad. But really fun game. You got to check it out if you haven't checked it out. Aside from that, shout out. I think one of our Twitch big dogs, Rockman, is sending me Kingdom Hearts 3.
Hell yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to finally checking Kingdom Hearts 3 out. It's gonna be really cool. Oh, dude, we should get video game ice cream from this guy. Hell yeah. Aside from that, Dragged Across Concrete is probably my favorite movie of this year so far, but it's April, so we have plenty of time for me to be impressed. I'm really, my biggest anticipated movie of this year, Midsommar, is gonna be probably the movie I'm most looking forward to.
Director of Hereditary, 1 year later, has a new film.
Exactly. I was just about to say, the director of Hereditary immediately goes out and makes another like horror thriller. I'm so excited to watch that. So those are the things that I'm looking forward to, as well as just doing more Big Dog streams, because these have been a really good time.
Yeah. And then yeah, we'll go here. Yeah, I guess this was a long episode, but it's an April update. Again, spring is here. Go out for a walk, stretch those arms up. During our game streams, we'll tell people to do gamer stretches, you know? It feels good to move the body. It feels good to go outside, surround yourself with people, get a taste of life. But yeah, spring is here, which is nice. But yeah, check us out. We're streaming typically Tuesday nights, Friday afternoons. If I miss a Friday because of work, we'll try to do a makeup stream Saturday. This coming week, I think we're going to do the Matt Hoffman games Tuesday night. Yeah. Matt Damon's Pro BMX. Next Friday, we're going to check out Days Gone. I think I also have an alpha invite to try this new game. We'll see, but yeah. Hey, if there's any... we said this on stream and it's already paying off. A lot of times on Twitter, I'll see indie games get posted like, hey, check out this game, blah, blah, blah. Do you know any content creators who would like this? Forward it to us, or tweet at them, get at Frank Howley, King Lord Bryan. Because of that, someone reached out to us like, oh, hey, do you want to check out this game? And sure enough, it looks cool. But we'll keep you posted. That's it. Stay tuned for more. Let us know what games you want to see us stream. Usually we ask the audience to make a response, but yeah, I mean, up to you guys. Was there a film in our film or book or something that in here? Have you seen Deadwood? Do you care about NOFX? Whatever. Make a video response. What are you up to in April 2019? Yeah, I'm looking forward to streaming and playing more games. Real fast, Brian, can we end with a shot of your turtle shirt? I'll get that.
Oh, sure.
Alright. It's spring, guys. Time to leave your shells and go out. See you at the dog beach. What looks cool here? I'm gonna end it. It's pretty. I don't see any dogs. Whatever, dude. Where? Oh, cute dog.